Hello everyone, my name is Rohit Goswami and I am pursuing a Master of Computer Science degree. In this video, I will be presenting my OJT work, that is SmartShare, a secure bucket-based file sharing application. Actually, SmartShare is a full-stack mobile application designed to provide secure, scalable, and organized cloud-based file sharing. This project allows a client-server architecture where the Android application acts as a client and communicate with the FastAPI backend. It uses RESTful API over the HTTP protocols. The backend is actually responsible for user authentication, authorization, and business logic. It also have database operation and cloud storage integrations. Talking about the application, the tech stack used for building the application is Kotlin and Jetpack Compose, while it follows an MVVM architectural pattern, that is model view and view model architectural pattern, to achieve a proper separation of concern between the user interface, logic, and the data layers of the application. It actually uses Retrofit and OkHttp to establish a communication between the Android client and backend APIs. It uses PostgreSQL to serve the relational database for storing user information, bucket detail, metadata, sharing information, and friendship relationships. Instead of storing uploaded file directly into the database, I have used Cloudinary, which is integrated to an external cloud storage provider, while the PostgreSQL maintains only the corresponding metadata and secure file URLs. Talking about the authentication and authorization, it is implemented using the JSON Web Tokens, ensuring that only the authenticated user can access the protected resources. The application also implements bucket-based file organization, temporary share code with expiration, and friend management. And also there are file operation such as upload, rename, and deletion. In this demonstration, I will actually explain the project architecture, discuss the technology used during the development, and demonstrate the complete workflow of the SmartShare application. Okay, let's start demonstrating the login model of the SmartShare application. This screen allows an already registered user to securely authenticate before accessing the application's feature. The user actually enters its registered email address and password, and upon clicking the login button, the authentication process starts. From the implementation perspective, the user interface is developed using uh, Jetpack Compose in Kotlin. The login screen is responsible only for collecting user input and display the interface. It does not actually have any kind of business logic as the project follows the MVVM architecture. Once the login button is clicked, the entered credentials are passed to the login view model. The view model performs basic validations such as checking whether the required fields are filled and then forward the request to the repository layer. In this repository layer, it acts between the layer of view model and the backend. It actually uses retrofit along with OkHttp to send a post request to the FastAPI backend through the login REST API endpoint. Talking about the backend, the login request is received by the login endpoint defined in the routes.py file. The incoming request is first validated using the login request schema defined in the schema.py file. After the validation, the backend queries the PostgreSQL database using SQLAlchemy to find the user associated with the original email address entered while login. In this process, the entered password is not directly compared. Instead, it is hashed using the SHA-256 hashing algorithm and compared with the hashed password stored in the user table. If the credentials are valid, backend generates a JSON Web Token, commonly known as JWT, which contain the user identity and having an expiration time of 24 hours. The generated JWT token is returned to the Android application in the response. The application stored the token locally and include it in the authorization header of the all subsequent API requests. This allows the backend to verify the user. If the credentials are incorrect, the backend returns an unauthorized response and the application displays an appropriate error message to the user. After the successful authentication, the user is redirected to the home screen. This is the login screen of the SmartShare application. As we are logging in for the first time, we have to actually register the user. So let's go to the register screen. Here there are four columns: username, email address, password, and confirm password. Each and every field is compulsory to fill. Let's suppose we take a username that is Rohit12. Let's add an email address that is rohit at gmail.com. We have to set an password of our own choice. Uh, Let me add an password and confirm password again. Here it will also check that the password are same or not. Let's suppose if I just make it not same, then it doesn't match. Create account. Okay, so the email is already registered. Um, let's suppose if I just add another email and create account, it will redirect me to the login page. Here we can just use the same email ID which we have registered and the password to enter and login. We can see we are on the home page. After successful authentication, the user is redirected to the home screen, which serve all the major functionalities, and it is the central dashboard of the SmartShare application. It has features like including bucket management, file sharing, and friend management, and also the user profile operations. When this screen is opened, the Android application automatically sends authenticated API requests to backend to retrieve the latest data. The JWT token received during login is attached to the authorization header of every request using OkHttp. The backend validates this token before processing any request, ensuring the only authenticated user can access their data. There are three main sections. The first section is user own buckets, which are created and managed by the logged in user. Let's try to add a new bucket of our own choice. Let's suppose it is DBMS. We can add as much bucket as we can. Let's suppose um, concept. The next major section is the user section. As you can see, here is the user profile, its username, email, and we can actually change password from here also if we forgot or we want to change it. The next section is the friend section. Here we can manage as many friends as we can. We can directly share the code and all. We will come back to this. We can actually select more than one file. Let's select the files and select. As we can see, we have selected more than one file and upload. It instantly uploads the files and we can actually edit those files and even download on their own. Now, after uploading the file, we can generate a share code from here. It's valid for 24 hours. Now, the bucket sharing functionality of SmartShare, instead of sharing individual files, the application allows user to generate a temporary share code for an entire bucket. Any authorized user possessing the share code can access all the file within the bucket during its validity period. Here, if I tap multiple times, the share code is same just because it is valid for 24 hours and remains same. Any authenticated user who enter the valid share code can temporarily access the shared bucket until the expiry time is reached. Once the code expires, the backend automatically rejects any further access request, ensuring secure and time-limited sharing. I will now demonstrate the friend management module of the SmartShare application. This feature allows a authenticated user to search for the other registered user by their username and establish a friendship connection. The primary purpose of the feature is to simply bucket share without requiring users to manually exchange share code every time from some another app or another thing. Now, if I want to add a new friend, just add its username. I have already added a user, so I'll just type it username. And you can see I have added a friend whose username is Rohit1. Now, getting into its chat, if you simply want to share the bucket code, just tap on the send bucket code, select the bucket which you have to share, and it is CBMS. So we can see the expire at July 11, 1:42 p.m., 1:47 p.m. It has been created at 1:42. So this is the share code. Now we can actually delete the user also. As we can see, I have shared the bucket code and now I will log in through the another user, that is Rohit1. As you can see, I am right now in Rohit1 username account. Now I will go to this uh, friends management screen and you can see a new user, that is Rohit12 has been present. Now here we can see a shared code has been found and we can join directly through this code. As we can see, these were the uploaded file. Right now we can see there are only option to download just because the owner of this bucket is another user. So we cannot actually delete those file, but we can insert our own file. Let's suppose that is smartshare.txt. Here we are the owner of this file, so we can delete, download, and rename also. Now, if I want to download this file, I'll just tap download, and it will show an option of from. Okay, so it's an txt file. As you can see, we are having this file, and let's suppose if I download this file, it directly opens into our phone. And if I open just this is opened into our phone gallery. Now let's see the logout feature of it. Here, if we just tap on the logout, we are actually back on the login screen. And if we have another user's email and password, we can actually log in from here. So as I have demonstrated the project, let's conclude. So SmartShare is a full stack Android application which integrates modern mobile development, RESTful API, cloud storage, relational database management, and a secure authentication into a single platform. Through this project, I have gained the practical experience in Android development, backend API development, database design, authentication using JWT, cloud integration, and software architecture. Although SmartShare successfully implements secure cloud-based file sharing, there are several enhancements that can be incorporated in future versions of the application. The first enhancement would be implementing a direct peer-to-peer file transfer using technologies such as Wi-Fi Direct or the nearby connections. This would actually enable devices on the same network to transfer file directly without relying on the cloud storage, resulting in fast transfer speed and reduced internet dependency. There are more features which can be added in future, that is notifications if a user is connected to another user, and if someone has shared a code, um, the notifications can also be such that a code is going to expire. QR code based bucket sharing, platform support, that is Android and web develop website also, the desktop laptops. So these are my future addings to this project, and thanks for watching.